Hey, good morning, YouTube. Um, I decided to bring you guys on my walk this morning. It's 5 a.m. It's dark. There's nobody out here, um, and I find this one of the best times to be by myself. It's one of the best times to reflect. The air feels great on my body and my lungs. Um, the silence is peaceful. Um, at this time, nobody can steal my joy. So it's a time I like to come out, you know. So I slept pretty well last night for about 4 or 5 hours, on and off. Um, but I kept hearing God talking to me, and I woke up with a new reflection, a new perspective on some of the things that I've been going through. One of the things that I thought about in my sleep was fear, um, and 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 how it traps us and how it boxes us. One of the biggest things that I fear is death. Um, I encountered death at a very young age. My father died when I was 3 years old. um, so subconsciously, it's something that terrifies me, right? But God put this on my heart, put this in my spirit this morning, and ultimately, what He said was, you need not fear in general, but to me specifically, He said, I need not fear death. Um, and the example that He gave was, well, the example that set on my spirit was this, that ultimately for a caterpillar to achieve flight, it must die, right? For a caterpillar to achieve its ultimate glory, it must cocoon itself, right? It must segregate itself from the entire world and die before it transforms into a butterfly and ultimately achieves flight. You know, so most of us go through life want to achieve flight or want to achieve the glory or whatever it is that we know what our potential is. But we're not willing to die for that. We're not willing to, sacrifice for it. And in so doing, we never achieve what it is that we want to achieve, or what we're, more important, what we're meant to achieve. You know, um, obstacles will come your way in the form of people, in the form of, uh, you know, governmental systems, in the form of environments. There will be so many things that will be a blockade, you know, in you reaching where you want to go to. There will be so many things that will serve as roadblocks. There will be so many people that will try to convince you otherwise of what you know to be true. They will try to convince you that you have no power, that somehow you are less than. And they and it comes so much that you start to believe this rhetoric. I don't know if you've tried to do anything of significance, but if you have, and you get all this resistance, why are you getting that resistance? is because you have the power to achieve that which you are trying to achieve. You have the ability to do it. That's why they would tell you, something, it's impossible. Anything that you can speak, anything that you can conceive in your mind, you have the ability to do. But ultimately, this rubs the system wrong. People don't want you to achieve this. They don't, you know, life is a competitive sport. I keep saying this, right? And most people aren't built for it. Most people aren't built for the sport. You know, they can't compete in a sportsmanlike fashion. So they must cheat in order to get ahead. But there's no glory in that. There's no glory in cheating to achieve some kind of success because it's not sweet. The person that busts their ass consistently, the person that wakes up while everybody is asleep and busts their ass, you know, while you're out partying and I'm in my room studying, when other people are chasing girls and you neglect that lifestyle, even though you know it's fun, and you are hitting the books, or you're hitting the gym, or you're dedicating yourself to something that you find worthwhile, even though there's 99% of the world is doing all this other things that you know to be sweet, but you are negating all that stuff because you are focused on one thing that you think is more worthwhile. When you ultimately achieve that level of success, that's sweet. The mass populace will never touch that level of success. So you know, rather than them feel bad about themselves, they'll make you feel bad about yourself. You know. So back to talking about death, right? Um, it's a morbid thing. A couple of my friends passed away over the last couple of years. Um, and these were people that I knew. They were either my age or not too much older older than me. You know, um, but I look at it as, if death were to come today, how has my life been? Because over my life, even though you know, I haven't been perfect, I've been scratching at this problem and constantly improving, constantly reinventing myself, constantly bettering myself. Thinking about these topics on a day-to-day basis, on a minute-by-minute basis, because I didn't have instructions. I didn't have anybody out here, telling me, as a man, this is how you're supposed to be. I didn't have, you know, the support system. I didn't have anybody that loved and cherished me. I didn't have anybody that put me in their pocket. So all this thing that I call life is something that I have been trying to figure out for myself, and I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. But in addition to that, I've made strides. And when I realized that, You know, I didn't. Ultimately, I'm realizing that I don't need anybody to make it in life. You know, people will talk about your mistakes all day. They will talk about it all day, but hardly will they mention the successes that you've had in life. You know, and if you listen to those voices, all you do is pay attention to the negative voices, including your own, right? I constantly listen to the negative voices about why things will not be, instead of looking at the positive and skewing my mind towards, you know, if I try this, what are the possibilities of success? And overwhelmingly, what I find is this, just like life and death, we choose not to jump, you know, out of that plane. We choose not to learn to swim, or we choose not to do all these endeavors because they are frightening, and it's almost like a dying, right? Um, but if you try, if you put yourself out there, if you consistently go against the grain, in spite of the fact that there could be death, in spite of the fact that this action that I'm taking will bring me a lot of sadness, will bring me a lot of, despair, ultimately you're still going to die. You are still going to die. So are you going to die unhappy, with no skills, with no, a life that you didn't venture to do anything? Or are you going to let these people lord over you, trying to tell you all these things about yourself that you know not to be true? For some of us, life was stacked against us. Life has been stacked against us. And in spite of that, we've still been able to make, tremendous strides. So however boxed in you feel, I want you to keep on going. No matter what somebody else does, you have to understand that that's a reflection on them, not you. That's a reflection on them. People always want to take their their pains out on other people. And that's the wrong thing to do. The right thing to do is to look at yourself and see where your wounds are and try to heal yourself. But, putting your pain on other people, that doesn't fix that pain. Because as soon as that person goes, you have to find another victim, and another victim, and another victim. But as soon as you go ahead and do the hard work of fixing yourself, of understanding that I need to die in the present state in order for me to evolve, I need to sacrifice in order for me to get where I ultimately really want to be. No amount of money in the world can get you to that place. No amount of friends, no amount of no number of you know earthly things can get you there. This is a personal journey that you need to undertake. Your mother can't do it for you, your father can't do it for you, your sister can't do it for you. If life has handed you some kind of trauma, um, it's on you to try to fix yourself, right? And in trying to fix yourself, when you get to a better place, you do things like this: put out YouTube videos or talk to people, and let them know that it's going to be okay. Look, the world has been here for millennia, and people have been treating people bad for centuries. So whatever you're going through right now, I can tell you this is not the worst thing that's happened to a person. This is not the worst thing that's happened to man, you know right? So whatever you're going through, don't take it personally. Don't think that you can't go through it. Don't think that you are the only one that's going through this. Don't think that this is some kind of unique situation to you. Don't think that it's impossible for you to rise from this situation. Don't think that, this thing will last forever. It's just like night and day. The night is long, you know, but over time, the sun will surely shine. So, yes, you may go through hard times, and it's great. You must keep that attitude that it's great. This is a growth process. In order for your muscles to grow, you must put it through stress. And it's not a fun thing. It's not pleasant. The people that are out here scheming and doing all these things, trying to hurt you and, belittle you or whatever it is that you are going through, understand that this is a growth process. It's something that God puts into your life in order for you to be able to look back and understand that he has been with you the whole way, and he will continue to be with you in the good and the bad. One of the things that I've been saying all my life is this: all shall pass. Everything that you know shall pass. There's nothing that's permanent in this world. The universe, the way that God made it, is dynamic. We are here one day and the next we are not. And that's true of people, that's true of societies, that's true of uh, governments, that's true of nations, that's true of concepts. It's true of everything. There is nothing that is permanent in this world. And once you start to wrap your head around this concept, you start to understand why it is that you are going through these things. So it allows you to stay, you know, it allows you to tread the water of life, you know, more easily. The world wasn't made so that you be happy forever. The world wasn't made that you be sad forever. There'll be periods where you'll be smiling, and there'll be periods where you'll be crying. There'll be periods when, your spirits are lifted, and there's periods when your spirits will be low. But if you don't have this understanding, when you have too many low moments, or a duration of a very long time that you go through a low moment, if you're not balanced enough to understand that this is how cyclical life is, what you're going to do is do something stupid, like take your life, or say something that might make a situation even worse. If it is people that you are dealing with that are being combative, just relax. Just relax. People will destroy themselves. In trying to destroy you, people will destroy themselves. You hear me? In trying to destroy you, people will destroy themselves. Look, the number one currency in this world is happiness, right? So if you can find happiness within yourself by going in and doing the deep work of fixing yourself, that brings you to a state of peace and a state of happiness that no one can take away from you. It's sort of like gaining knowledge, right? If if I teach somebody how to fish and they know how to go to the river and get their fish, that person will never suffer from hunger, right? There's a confidence in that. So you need to go in and do the hard work of fixing yourself and bringing yourself to a place of balance and a place of peace. The people that are out there that are perpetrating these things and saying these things to you, they are not in a place of peace. They are not in a place of balance. They are not happy. So they try to shift their own happiness to you. You know, what they do is they find happiness in bringing unhappiness to other people. But let me tell you something about that sort of happiness. It's fleeting. It's like a drug, right? Um, you constantly need a fix. You constantly need a fix. There's no happiness in that. But when I'm still and I'm calm and within myself, I'm happy. When there are people around or where there are no people around, you know, when I can commune with God like how it is right now, you know, it's 5 a.m., it's dark, I can hear the birds chirping, and this brings me peace, it brings me happiness. How many people do you know that will wake up at 4 o'clock, take a walk, so that they can hear the birds chirping and talk to God? It's a minority, you know. So this is just another video for you, um, to shake your fears, to start moving. Never stop. In spite of what the consequences may be, it may be death, which is the ultimate, which is the end of life. But until that day comes, don't stop. Be relentless. Keep doing what you do. Don't let don't let the goal of what you want to be achieve you want to achieve in life be anything that is earthly, like money or some physical thing, like some car or some house or something like that, because all these things are fleeting. But if within my spirit I'm happy and within my spirit I'm at peace, I attract a lot of things that the world can't give you. You attract God's presence, and when you attract God's presence, that brings abundance. That brings a glow around you. So the inner work brings with it everything that you want, everything that you need to survive. That's why you must go ahead and do the inner work. Thinking deeply about yourself and your thoughts, and not allowing people and things and situations to eat up who you are. Anyway, I hope this is of use to you, and I'll catch you on the next one.